السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الكلام كلام الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We begin in praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We thank and we praise and we give gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for once again blessing us upon Iman, for allowing us to live another day upon Islam. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla that we benefit from the sermon that we hear today. And our hearts are guided to sincere action. Allahumma ameen. My nasiha today, my advice is to myself, to every child, to every daughter, to every student of knowledge, to every male and female. This topic, without it, the one who fails will live a miserable life. And the one who is successful will have a successful life in this life and the hereafter. The topic I want to cover is known as Birrul Walidain, being righteous or dutiful towards your parents. But we begin first and always by defining these words. What does it mean, al-bir? What does al-birrul walidain mean? What does it mean to be righteous towards your parents? In order to understand us being righteous towards our parents, first we must understand the right of Allah. In Islam, there is something known as huquq wa wajibat. And we know this. Even, we know currently, the Europeans, when they came with the UN Convention with Human Rights, we know that in Islam, it had defined the rights of others long time ago. It has defined and given everyone their rights. And it began with the most important of rights, haqqullah. So today I talk of this topic, birrul walidain. But if the right of Allah is not being fulfilled, you have already failed this topic of birrul walidain. Before we can even delve into the topic of being righteous towards our parents, if you have failed in haqqullah azza wa jal, then it was all downhill from there. We know in Islam there's haqqullah, then haqqul Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then comes the hearts which were meant to guide us back to Allah and His Rasul. The Sahaba, the Walid, the Walad, the friends, the Ikhwa, the companions. So all us as human beings, our interactions is meant to be hearts, guiding hearts to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is nothing else that should be between us. It should be hearts, guiding hearts to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam provided for the companions. He did not come with wealth. He did not come with promise of the treasures of the dunya. He came with a promise of Jannah. He came with a promise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you peace in this world. First of all, al-bir, what is the meaning? Al-bir ma'nahu al-ihsan wal-khayr. Al-bir, it means al-ihsan wal-khayr. And we know ihsan, this word, it comes from a very famous hadith known as Hadith Jibreel. When Jibreel alayhi salam came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he said, Mal Islam, Mal Iman, Mal Ihsan. So us already in the mindset of every Muslim, there are levels of deen. There is a progress that needs to be made. The same way when a child goes to school, they are primary school, secondary school, university, and by the time you reach a very high level and you're a doctor, right, and people honor you and you're seen as someone honorable, there is marhala. Say in Islam there is a marhala or taqarrub ila Allah azza wa jalla. There are levels in gaining closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all of us, we judge our levels depending upon our closeness to the ibadah that we perform. So al-ihsan means a level of excellence. Not just any type of excellence. An excellence where you have itqan fil amal. Not half-hearted goodness. Full, sincere act of obedience that is with energy. And we will go back to parents shortly. Al-ihsan, al-birrul walidain. Bir means that you have a high level of excellence when you perform acts of goodness. You can think about anything that you do right now in your life. Whether you are a businessman when it comes to your business dealings and the wealth that you're accumulating. Whether you run something or the way you work at your workplace. If you have a level of excellence, does that seep into your acts of worship? Does it seep into and is it present when you are dutiful to your parents and the acts of worship that you perform? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he will be found at night praying. And brothers and sisters and respected elders, I want you to reflect with me this situation. A man, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, being a man who is leading the ummah by day, he has responsibilities by day. At night he is found in his home, the most private of places, in your own home. Like when you're at home, you're a different person. In the masjid now, there is a way that we behave. When you're at work, there is a way that you behave. You don't behave the same when you're at home and at work. Do you feel a bit more relaxed? You can let your hair down, sister. You can, take unwind and talk in a more relaxed manner. So that your truest self, where is it found, brothers and sisters? It is found when you are in the comfort of your home or in private. The true you comes out, yadhar. It comes out. As for outside, there is a level of, I wouldn't say nifaq, but there is a social norm that we all have to live up to, right? There is an act that we all do. There is a way that you speak. There is a way that you carry yourself. And it is good when you have your teachers in front of you. You don't speak to your teacher the way you speak to your friend, right? There is an honoring. There is certain people that we honor and behave. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at home, did he have a chance to just relax and say, I have done enough? I have led the ummah, I've led them in prayer, I've given nasiha, I have fought and I have conveyed Islam, now I can relax? No. He'll be found at night standing bayna yadayillah. He'll be standing for Allah Azza wa Jal in Qiyamul Layl. And Aisha radiallahu anha, his wife, our mother radiallahu anha, she would ask him, why are you doing all of this? And he said, should I not be a grateful servant? So many of the Salaf, they would say that if you pray your 5 daily prayers, that you are showing shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if after praying these 5 daily prayers, at the end of each prayer, you make dua for your parents, then you have shown thankfulness towards your parents. So al-bir, what does the word bir mean? Is al-ihsanu wal-khayr. Also the word al-bir, it is ismun jami'un. We've heard this term before. When we say al-ibadah, like Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah, he said it's a word which encompasses many things. When I say act of worship, you as a young man or woman, you shouldn't confine your act of worship to say, oh, in the masjid, yeah, in Ramadan, oh, when I'm getting married, oh, when someone has died, that's called the imam. No, for you, ibadah is my breath and my death, everything. My breathing, my stillness, my walking, my giving, my withholding, everything, my business dealings. When I smile, when I advise someone, ibadah, we need to make sure that it covers all areas of our lives. The same is for this word, bir. It is ismun jami'un li kulli ma'ani khayr. It is a word which encompasses all forms of goodness. So when we talk about birrul walidain, do not restrict yourself to thinking that me being good to my parent is just buying them flowers, is just doing this. No. There is something that, the society we live in, it will say Mother's Day, Father's Day, and it will restrict the way you show love because it is selling something to you. It is marketing something to you. So you might then be conditioned to think, okay, this is how I need to show my mom and dad love. No, we need to take a step back. What does Islam say in order how we should show love to them? And al-bir or al-barru is from one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Min asma'illahi husna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna kunna min qabl nad'uuhu innahu huwa al-barru rahim. And in the past and in before, we used to call upon Him. We used to call upon Him, i.e. Allah, innahu huwa al-barru rahim. Indeed, He is ever merciful, ever generous, ever kind. Innahu huwa al-barr. Indeed, He is beneficent, kind. Al-muhsin ila ibadihi. So the word al-bir, al-barru, al-muhsin ila ibadihi. Allah, He continues to show goodness, and the word ihsan, not just simple type of goodness, but perfection. Today you woke up upon health. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'dama amatana. Many people did not wake up. You woke up upon a home. You woke up upon all of these blessings. Therefore we give shukr to Allah Azza wa Jal. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. And whatever blessings you enjoy, it is from Allah Azza wa Jal, not from you. Because the devil can make you feel today you woke up upon your richness. La. This richness was given to me by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does ma'ana birrul walidain? Birrul walidain, al-ihsanu ila al-walidain bil-qawli wal-fi'li taqarruban ila Allah ta'ala. To be righteous and to be good to your parents means that you are good to them in your words and in your actions. For what reason? Taqarruban ila Allah. So I can gain closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And now finally we enter the topic. After defining the words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the greatest wasaya. Allah Azza wa Jal, if you can think of anyone that you trust in your life, anyone whose words, if they speak it, that's it. If this person said it, it's, I will believe 100%. Your teacher, your parent, whoever it may be, there's a level of trust. Today, if you go to the GP or you go to a private doctor, he diagnoses you, he gives you the results, he tells you this is what you have a sense of thiqah. There's a trust. Even if he says you need to go into operation. Okay, and I remember when I had someone who's very dear to me, when she went into operation, we had to have that thiqah that they knew what they were talking about. So there's that level of trust when you board the plane and you sit down and you're just getting ready to watch a movie. Okay, you have no idea who the pilot is, but you have this thiqah, this trust. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, when He speaks, it has to be that sense of peace that enters your heart. A sense of, Wallahi, Allah Azza wa Jal, qawluhu haqq. Whatever Allah says is truth and reality. So whatever Allah says, it weighs heavy in your heart. The greatness of it and the magnitude of the words of Allah Azza wa Jal is something that settles your heart. Not X, Y, and Z person. If Allah speaks and someone reminds you of Allah, you are taken. And this is why many of the companions, when they say to each other, ittaqillah, be mindful of Allah, fear Allah, be conscious of Allah, they really thought of Allah Azza wa Jal. But today, what do we do? What do you and I do? Ego comes in the way. The ego, the self. Man anta, who are you to tell me to fear Allah? Who are you to tell me to fear Allah? I'm older than you. Who are you to tell me to fear Allah? I'm richer than you. Who are you to tell me to fear Allah? And I am maybe of this nationality, or this tribe, or of this social status. The Sahaba, or the companions, or all of those who are righteous, they know the righteous person is the one who comes to Allah Azza wa Jal on the day of judgment with a sound and pure heart. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant all of us sound and pure hearts. Ameen. A heart that is free from any hatred, free from any envy, free from any greed. It only wants and lives and dies for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He gives this advice, or this wasaya, or this command. وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. Worship Allah and do not associate with Him any partners. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. And towards your parents, show kindness and gentleness. All of the stuff we mentioned, بِرُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. All of that we mentioned and more, show that to them. وَفِي هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ. And in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He placed tawheed and the dutifulness towards the parents at the same level. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, worship Allah and do not associate partners with Him. And at the very same time He said, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. In Arabic and in English we can do the same. When we speak of something great and we say and, okay, many times, okay, but it's probably done with football clubs, okay, or you say but, it's less than. But when you say وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ, it is following on that it is a great thing. So Allah, He says, worship Him and Him alone and be kind to your parents. Respect and honor your parents. So in Islam, it is very important, brothers and sisters. Especially, I know we have a lot of young brothers. And this advice, by the way, wallahi, is not restricted to youngsters. This advice is also a reminder for the elders. Also for a reminder for the brothers who got married and left their parents' home, who forgot about their parents. It's a reminder to every man and woman who slept and woke up and they did not give a single phone call to their parent to find out, boy, mom, what did you eat today? How, dad, what is your situation today? This advice is for everyone. So don't think my son needs to listen to this. You need to listen to this. And if we are upright fathers and mothers, wallahi, we will have upright children, bi-idhnillah. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. And Allah has commanded and decreed that you worship none but Him, and towards your parents show kindness and dutifulness. إِمَّا يَبَلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبْرَ أَحَدُهُمَا. If one of them or both of them reach old age, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ. And do not say to them the word of uff. The most least of words in Arabic. Do not say to them, not even a word of uff, of dislike. And in Arabic word, this can be physically said, qawl, or even with your eyes. You know, your mom and dad tell you to do something like, just a sigh alone. Mom and dad, subhanallah, before they ate, they fed you. Before they put on their clothes, they clothed you. Before they could spend on themselves, they spent on you. And today, we neglect them, subhanAllah. We replace them for friends who will not be concerned about your health or your well-being or your future. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, rather, وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا, and do not repel them. And you hear many stories of children repelling and pushing away their parents. One companion, he came to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he says, my father keeps asking for my wealth. And he said, you and your wealth belongs to your father. You and your wealth belong to your father. Compare it to a man now who does not want to share his wealth with his parents, who spent their entire life giving whatever they have for their sake. And today they complain. They get their first full-time job. Dad or mom asks for some wealth. SubhanAllah, you find it a burden. But they spent on you their entire wealth. They probably went into saving so much and spending on your education. But you forgot all of that. Bani Adam, how quickly do we forget? أقول ما تسمعون استغفر لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ حُسْنًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and we have given this admonition, this advice. And who gives the best advice? Allah. So if Allah gives you the advice of being good to your parents, will there be khayr in it? Will there be goodness in it for you in the dunya and the akhirah? Yes, bila shak, without a doubt. There is hidden blessings in being good to your parents. There are hidden blessings in being good to your parents. And Imam Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah, he said, أمر الله تعالى عباده بالإحسان إلى الوالدين بعد الحث على التمسك بالتوحيد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He commanded the creation, the human beings, to be righteous towards their parents after He encouraged them to hold on to the tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jalla, the oneness of Allah. فَإِنَّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ, because the two parents, هُمَا سَبَبُ وُجُودُ الْإِنسان, because they are the reason why we exist today. You know, we're here today because mom and dad, they met. You know, we are the result. Okay, mom carried us for 9 months in her womb. You know, there is not a single woman, our mother, a woman, the men, we don't have this experience. There's only one woman who, from the inside and the outside, we have left marks in her. There is one woman in this dunya, meaning the mother, who we have left her body scarred from the inside and the outside. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And to that same mother, you would say, oof, no, what you know, talk back, whatever it may be. But yet we caused her harm and pain from the inside of her womb. And we left marks on her outside, meaning stretch marks or even cesarean. Even literal physical. Imagine, I know some mothers who have to daily, when they are pregnant, they have to take warfarin injections to make their blood thin. Imagine 9 months, your mother, perhaps she injected herself, was going to hospital, just so you could stay alive. Because to make her blood thin, otherwise you would die. She had to eat healthy, so you can remain healthy. All of this shelter we forget. Before, you had the warmth of her chest, you had the warmth of her womb. So these are the realities of our parents, which the shaitan, the devil, makes us forget. And because of their infaq and ishfaq, we have to always honor our dad and mom. The dad, he's there working, providing for you. Infaq, he spent on you. The mother, she has ishfaq. She's concerned about what you did today. She asks about your well-being. She places you on her chest. You spent time with her when you were young in her bed. She told you stories. And by the way, these qualities, they can be found in both of them. In fact, we have many mothers today. May Allah honor and bless our mothers. Ameen. Ever since the Conservative Party got in power, many mothers are being sent to work. You know, they have to work in the morning when children are at school, and they have to work in the evening, just so they can pay off their housing and so on, and have it reduced. Subhanallah. So we need to make the children be aware of these realities before they take it for granted. What are some of the sifat? You will notice that the anbiya, they are the best role models for us. The al-anbiya. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He describes them. Yahya ibn Zakaria, he says, يا يحيى خذ الكتاب بقوة وآتيناه الحكم صبيا وحنانا من لدنا وزكاة وكان تقيا وبرا بوالديه ولم يكن جبارا عصيا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He describes Yahya and He says, take the word, the speech of Allah with strength. And this is how we are meant to be as Muslims. You know, lately there is an identity crisis with us as Muslims. You know, you look at us here in London or in the West, there is a sense of identity crisis. There's a sense of, am I Muslim? What am I? Who am I? When Allah Azza wa Jal, He gave the wahi, the revelation to the Prophet, He told them to hold on to the kitab. You need to ask yourself, brothers and sisters and respected elders, are you holding on to the book of Allah? Because look, Allah honored the prophets. They are the best amongst us. On the day of judgment, Yawm al-Qiyamah, we will be not running to the tribe leader. We won't be running to this president. We won't be running to this YouTube celebrity, this grime daily artist, or all of these rappers or singers or celebrities. La, we'll only be running to prophets and Anbiya. So if they are the best amongst us, why are we not following their example? Allah, He gives them advice, says, hold on to the kitab, biquwwa, hold on to the Quran in strength. And we gave him wisdom while he was young. And we gave him piety. And Allah finally mentions his beautiful quality. And he was barran biwalidayn. He was righteous towards his parents. You will not find a successful person in the dunya and in the akhirah except that they were righteous towards their parents. Every righteous man that I see, that I meet, I ask him, what do you think helped you to get to where you are today? They'll say, wallahi, the dua of my parents. They'll say, wallahi, because of the dua of my parents. They made dua for me, that I memorized the Quran, that I become rich and I have halal rizq, that the people become loved to me, and so. And you will not find anyone who is living a miserable life, though they may have material gain, except that they feel miserable inside, that they were asi, disobedient to their mom and dad. They could have everything, but they know they had a bad relationship with mom and dad. Ego came in the way. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also speaks of Isa ibn Maryam. Jesus alayhi salam, Isa. Allah says that he was وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي, his mother. He was righteous towards his mother. There are many other ahadith, but I'll end it with a few more. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this is reported in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sa'altu Rasulullah, I asked him, the Messenger of Allah, I said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ayyul amal afdal, which is the best action? Afdal, okay? What is the best actions that I can do? Ayyul amali afdal. Now this is the mindset of the companions. Not mediocre, not someone who just wants to get into Jannah, didn't really care about having high aspirations. Every single companion had high aspirations. Why? The nurturing and the education was of high aspirations. The tarbiyah that the Prophet ﷺ gave to them was one of uplifting them to only please Allah and Allah alone. So when they asked the question, they said, what is the best thing I can do to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said and he replied, As-salatu ala miqatiha, or as-salatu ala waqtiha. He said, praying on time. Not just praying, but praying on time. Okay? Brothers and sisters who are in the workforce, prayer is very important. Do not let your prayers go to the next prayer and the next prayer, and then you are too shy or too scared or too worried to tell your employer, I need time to pray. And if he does give you time to pray, or she does give you time to pray, please do not abuse it. You are an ambassador of Islam. I have found in many workplaces, Muslims will say, I need to go and pray. And they've gone for 1 hour. Okay? 1 hour or more. It's not their lunch break, but to pray. 1 hour. But when you're at home, you pray 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You're finished. So please, as Muslims, role models, ambassadors, ihsan. Then he said, ثُمَّ أَيْ, then what action is next? What else can I do to please Allah Azza wa Jalla? What is the best deed I can do? He said, ثُمَّ بِرُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. then be good and righteous to your parents. So you see in Islam how important it is. Tawheed, salah, righteousness towards your parents. If you're doing other things in your life, good for you. But wallahi, if you are someone who is teaching the deen of Allah, or you are someone who is benefiting the community, but you have no good relationship with your mom and dad, then you're a loser in Islam. You have a failed relationship with your parents, you have failed in life. Especially if you are the one who is causing the pain. I'm not talking about if, the parent is harming you, but you remain patient as a child. And finally, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was asked many times by the companions, who is the most beloved person in the dunya that I should have suhbah with. Listen to the word, suhbah. Suhbah is not your any type of companion. It's not any type of friendship. Suhbah is someone who knows about your mental, your health, your emotional, every type of well-being that you can have. That's a suhbah. Your wife should be a suhbah to you. Your wife, your husband, they should be a suhbah to you. A parent to the child and a child to the parent, that should be a suhbah. Before you create any type of bonds and relationships, the first bond that you create is with Allah and those that love Allah. And who are those that love Allah and guide you to Allah? Most importantly, your parents. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ummuk, your mother. Your mother, your mother. Be friends with your mom. Let her be your best friend. Okay, especially the youngsters who are listening to me. I know sometimes you can be shy that mom is picking you up from school. Or that you see your friends and your mom is with you and you're at Oxford Street, but mom has the money, right? And dad, you have to go with them shopping. You can't go by yourself, which you may see many of your non-Muslims friends, maybe they're going out by themselves. But you have your parents. Are you shy at that moment or are you proud? You have to be proud. These are the people that brought you up to the man or woman that you are today. So as Muslims, these are things, inshallah, a short reminder of us being dutiful to our parents. May Allah Azza wa Jal honor our parents, ameen. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us dutiful to our parents, ameen. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us of those who listen and obey our parents, ameen. The only time which the Sharia says that you disobey your parents, even then, in that disobedience, there is gracefulness and respect, is when it comes to the ma'siyah of Allah Azza wa Jal. لا طاعة في مخلوق لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. There is no obedience to the creation at the expense of disobeying Allah Azza wa Jal. Even then, even if they are Muslim, or they turn away from Allah Azza wa Jal, it is not a reason for you to say to them, you're kafir, you're going to Jahannam. You don't want to listen what Islam said? What do you know about Islam? You studied Islam 1 or 2 years, and then you go to your parents and say, look, this is what the Prophet ﷺ said. And if you don't follow this, Mom, I'm leaving the house. Mom, Dad, if you don't follow this, I'll go get married to whoever I want. Please, these are things that we need to be mindful of. On the side note, inshallah, also, I want to give a strong reminder to parents. Adults, fathers and mothers, you are raising children who are not being raised in the lifestyle and in the society that you were once raised in. You have to accept that reality. The children that you have today, they are not being raised in the same environment that you were raised in. I will give a simple example. I'm from Somalia. If you raise your child as if you are in Somalia, it will not work. In Somalia, you have the duksi, the madrasa, the duksi teacher, you have the school teacher, in fact, you have the police, you have everyone supporting your upbringing of your child. Here in the UK, it is a different environment. It's a different ground. The soil is different. So you need to be wise in the way you give tarbiyah and you plant that seed. It's a give and take when it comes to the upbringing of children. In Islam, we are the first people who are concerned about safeguarding. And there are a lot of talks about safeguarding within schools and universities and social services. In Islam, safeguarding is very, very important. Before the physical, in Islam, we believe the child should be safeguarded spiritually. Iman in Allah Azza wa Jal. Then we create a good environment. So brothers, sisters who are married, who have children, who will be having children, please know the environment that your children are being raised in. Be gentle. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he drew hearts to him through his gentleness. Even when he rebuked, he never mentioned the person's name. He would say, Fulan, if so-and-so does this, this is what would happen. If only you would do this. And in fact, if he wanted to give advice, he'll say, Wallahi, I love you for the sake of Allah, and so on and so on. So please, let us have a balance. Our children are our children. When you be angry and you kick them out, or you keep saying to them, Asi, if you keep saying this to them, they will find someone else that will say to them, you're the best. You can have whatever you want. Come live with me. What? They don't give you no money. You can make money this way. And I know the government recently, I'm not sure if everyone knows, in regards to stopping knife crime, they've introduced these boxes now in chicken shops. As you know, there's a big worry of knife crime. And since we're talking about Birrul Walidain, young boys, young men, please listen to me carefully. Wallahi, it is not worth listening to your friends over your parents. If your parents say stay home, stay home. You don't say to them, what do you think I am, a little girl? I'm a big man now. No. Sometimes a lot of these issues that happens because the child's not listening to their parents. When they said stay home, calamity happened. So please, listen to your parents, listen to their wisdom. We need the strength and the zeal of the young and the wisdom of the old. And inshallah, that way we can be the best ummah ever. Bi-idhnillah. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم ذل الشرك والمشركين اللهم دمر أعداءك أعداء الدين اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
So واعتدلوا صفوفكم فإن تصويت الصف من تمام الصلاة. Straighten your lines. Please put your mobile phones on silent. Make dua for yourself, your parents, your teachers, and the ummah. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Malik Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.